Mobile phones, is the world going crazy? Find out in just a few seconds. So anyway, back to the story. He's bought this phone and he's absolutely raving about it. The UI, how good it is, the camera unlock, the fingerprint screen display. There's a whole bunch of reasons that, you know, led him to buy this phone, even down to the teardrop notch, which really, I mean, whether it's a teardrop or whether it's a long notch or whatever notch it is, or whatever notch it is, you know, you kind of get used to it anyway. So, I mean, the notch for me isn't kind of like a big deal. So I thought to myself, well, yeah, that looks like a nice phone. And then another week goes by and he decides to go and buy an iPhone XR or a XR. And I thought, well, what the hell is he doing that for? So he's just kind of raved about this OnePlus 6T for a whole week. Every day there was something that he discovered that was really, really good in it. And then he basically went off and bought the iPhone XR. So I bought this phone off of him. I bought this phone off of him for £250, which I think I stole it off of him. But anyway, and I thought, you know, this took me back. I loved OnePlus phones. Like I said, I had the OnePlus X. I've recently given that OnePlus X away, even though it was dear to my heart. But I have given it to a good home. And I thought, well, this thing's going to replace it. And it's kind of done more than replace it. Basically, I had my iPhone 10. I loved that phone. I got this phone. I carried it around with me for about 3 weeks. I never switched my SIM card over. I kept thinking about all the reasons why I loved the iPhone 10. You know, I'd had it for a year, which for me, I mean, I'm prone to changing my phones a couple of times in the year as well, at least a couple of times. But I absolutely loved that phone. And I carried this OnePlus phone around for 3 weeks, figuring out what I was going to do with it. Because, you know, yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, switching from phone to phone, it's a lot easier now, and manufacturers definitely make it easier for you to switch. But it's still a pain in the ass. I mean, you know, all your apps, your passwords, your this, your that, you know, it can be a pain. So, I mean, I guess that was one reason that was kind of stopping me from changing. But the other reason was I kept saying, this is too big. It's too big. Look at the size of it. The iPhone 10 was the perfect size for me. Look at the size of this. It's so big. And then there's the whole thing about going back to Android. And, you know, there were certain things that I like on iOS that I've kind of got used to over time. And, you know, there were certain things whereby I just felt seemed to work better than they did on the Android counterpart. So I had a US trip coming up, so I decided I'm going to bite the bullet one way or another. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my SIM card out of the iPhone. I'm only going to take this OnePlus phone. I'm going to, actually I took a DJI Osmo Pocket as well, which I wanted to shoot some film on because I'd only just bought that device. So I'll link in the description box the videos for that device, because actually, you know, that's a blinding piece of kit, but you know, that's another video. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to take this phone and that's all I'm going to do. So I set it all up, put my SIM card in, and off I went. And you know what? I've never looked back. I actually gave my iPhone 10 away, and I've never looked back with this phone. All the flexibility of Android, the notifications, I mean, are absolutely to die for. The battery in this thing, sometimes I've got on nearly 3 days out of it, you know, but definitely 2 days before charging. And charging, yeah, charging's amazing. The dash charger will charge this thing up so fast. I mean, I don't know, people say 70% in 15 minutes, 20% in 5 minutes. I don't know. All I know is it's bloody fast, and you plug it in, you go off and do something, you come back, and it's almost charged. And to me, that is amazing. You know, it's like hands down, night and day, better than any other device that I've ever used. So I really like this phone, and again, got dual SIM in it. It's really light. The screen is good. I mean, there's just absolutely everything to like. You know, you've got the fingerprint sensor, which, you know what, it's the capacitive one. people say it's not that fast, and and it's probably a bit more picky about how you place your finger on it, but you know what, it works fine. I mean, I'm not in that much of a hurry. And you know what, if you want to unlock the thing, although not biometric, the face unlock on this thing is so fast, and it's okay. So I'm actually sold on this for £250. This has got, I don't know what it's got, like 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, 8 I think. It's got whatever processor it's got on it, it's fast enough, it's fluid, buttery smooth as the phrase might be. Dual SIM again. The only letdown for this phone is the camera. The camera's rubbish. Well, okay, it's not rubbish, but this thing, the iPhone, they're night and day. The cameras are night and day. So, apart from the camera, this phone is superb. And I think that the whole Android experience with Android 9 and actually OnePlus don't really skin it up too badly. I mean, they use the Oxygen OS, which is pretty close to stock Android. And I just think this thing is, for the money, and even for the retail money, which is like £450 or something like that, you can't go wrong with this. So, a brilliant phone. Is it a phone? We've had this conversation already, but it's a brilliant device. So why the hell have I got this? Why have I got this? This is the iPhone XS Max in the lovely gold colour. I quite like the colour. But why have I got it? Why have I, when I'm so happy with this, gone and bought this? Well, to be honest, I don't know why I bought it. I mean, maybe I just wanted to see how great this camera was that everyone's raving about. The camera, yeah. So I'm buying another phone for the camera. I mean, we are going crazy. But I don't know. This thing's supposed to have slightly better battery life. I mean, I still think this is brilliant. I still think that, okay, there's no wireless charging. I don't really care about wireless charging. If I can plug that thing in and it gives me, a day's charge in minutes, I'm kind of quite happy for that. But so I don't really know why I bought this. I guess I didn't want to be left out. I wanted to figure out. I mean, there's a ton of reviews on these things, and I will be pulling out my best features of each of these devices, because don't forget, I know, tons of reviews on them already, but I will give you an honest review because all of this stuff is bought with my own money. So there's nobody sponsoring me, there's nobody encouraging me to say anything that isn't other than what my thoughts are. So I will, be throwing up some interesting features of both of these devices. Yes, the camera. I kind of still like iOS. There are some good things to like about it, and like I said, when I throw a couple of comparisons out there between these two devices in terms of feature and functionality, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but that will be in another video. But for the time being, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I've had this now for about 3 or 4 weeks, believe it or not. I know I haven't done a review on it or even brought this video up at all, but I think the time was right to get this video out there. But I think I've been walking around with this for 3 weeks, and literally I've been walking around with 2 phones and just using this as a frickin' camera. So I've got to stop doing that. So the time is going to come where I'm going to change back to this phone just to give it a run. And I don't think it's going to be a lot different to the iPhone 10 that I had, but in any case, it's the hardware, it's got the bionic chip, whatever that is. I don't really understand the technicalities. I mean, to me, it's all marketing BS. But it's got a fast chip in it. Apple's technology. The UI is obviously made to work with this. I mean, nothing's really changed from day dot. It's still the grid system and all the rest of it. So nothing to light the world up. But I'm intrigued. I'm absolutely intrigued to learn a little bit more about this device, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that unless I use it. So I think the time is fast approaching where I'm going to have to take the SIM card out of this. Take the SIM card out of this and put it into this and really just give it a fair run before I kind of make my decision. You know what the trouble is though, don't you? A couple of months time, there'll be the OnePlus 7, the Samsung S10's already out, and that's getting some great reviews for all the the guys out there, all the creators out there that have been lucky enough to bag themselves an early version, you know, they're definitely going to give you some good views about that device. But this is ridiculous. You know, these phones are so expensive. They're not phones, they're media consumption units, cameras, whatever you want to call them, but they can't be called phones anymore. But although that would be a bit of a problem, as this is called the iPhone. But anyway, the point being, you know, it's getting ridiculous. The world is going crazy. You know, we're bringing out folding phones now that are even bigger. I just don't know where it goes. It kind of goes full circle. Small phones, big phones, small phones, big phones. I don't know. But the point is that, you know, when you're reviewing technology and you're interested in technology, it's all kind of, you know, interesting. So why not be a part of it? So guys, so I've got to stop using this just to take pictures with and use it as my daily driver. I'm going to be posting a review of the features, as I said. So guys, if you've got any questions or comments, please leave those in the comments section below. Maybe you've got the same dilemma, maybe you figured out what the dilemma was. I don't think it's going to be an iOS or an Android dilemma, because that's a question that will go on for time immemorial, and every single YouTube video and review I've heard, nobody kind of gets to that point. And I think it's the same with the devices as well. You know, they're changing so frequently, you know, nobody keeps them for long enough. So I just think, you know, this is a whole moment in time. What suits you? We're kind of normal people. I mean, one of these phones, okay, you know, is going to have to go, or one of them is certainly going to have to be the daily driver and not carry two of them around with me. But guys, you know, leave any comments and questions in the comment section below. I'm Dave with Scene for a Lens. I'm going to be back with another video which talks about the features, as I said already. And don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to click on that bell icon. See you the next time, and thanks for watching.